yo, what up, what up, what up,
I think it's an issue more with
friends?
the PBC when it comes to the money and Tank. That's why Tank's, I honestly think that since he's not getting promoted the way he wants to be promoted, he's putting that effort in promoting the fight. That's what I feel like he's doing.
Yeah. And shout out to everybody watching. We really appreciate it. Shout out to Bud File says hello, people. Salute. We appreciate you. I saw you there earlier. I was just trying to find a good time to get that comment in. Morning Wombat. Shout out as well. Thank you again for tuning in. We know you were here last time with us. Shout out. Says I'm not trying to discredit, Roach, but I've been disappointed with Tank's recent moves. Frank Martin is talented, but he's not really demonstrating a willingness to take big risks. He continues. The Garcia fight was a high-profile fight, but even that had the rehydration clause. My suspicion is he recognizes Shakur has pound-for-pound level skills and views that fight as high risk with little reward. He continues, I think Russell will be too dynamic and athletic for Rayo. Oh, this is from the Rayo fight. I apologize. I thought that was continuing the last comment. Let's start with that last comment. So what do y'all think about that last comment about what he's saying about Tank's recent moves and approach to his fights?
I think styles make fights. They sparred before, just like he sparred Haney, and we haven't seen Tank in that fight somebody in that type of style. A slick fighter. Shakur's not going to he's not a knockout artist. He's a slick fighter. He's going to outpoint you things of that nature. So we haven't really seen Tank fight somebody like that yet. We just think he come straight at him. So right now, in his career, him being 30 years old, and him saying, I only want to fight champions, that's what we need to see. So I don't hear this stuff about Shakur will get knocked out. Shakur will then knock him out, take his belt. What is more satisfying than knocking someone out? You said that is trash, and you take their belt. This is boxing. So what for the fans that disagree? Some fans disagree. Say, oh, he doesn't have to fight him. What are you talking about? What? Okay, but yeah, just if he's trash, just knock him out and take his belt. We would like to see it.
Yeah, Josh, what do you think?
Hey, I think that's a valid point there. I think what Morning Wombat has stated, and cheers to you there, there's some validity there. There are fights to be made at 135 pounds. Now, Lamont Roach, he's a good fighter, and he's gonna continue to be the champion at 130 pounds. So he's moving up for the first time for this particular contest. And then the other things that Morning Wombat mentioned, they are valid. There was a rehydration clause with Ryan Garcia. There wasn't, as far as I recall, with Mario Barrios. And
that's a 10 pound. It was a 10 pounder. He had a 10 pound with Mario.
Oh, he had a 10 pounder? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I stand corrected there. But I just remember that one. It took place at 140, right? Mm-hmm. It took place at 140 pounds. Okay. So there was a clause there. I don't know. It's interesting, especially when you have people you can take on there at 135. That being said, when you're in a certain position, you can dictate, and he's in the position to where he can dictate who he wants to face, because as far as the live gate, people do seem to come out. They come out, show love, all of that stuff. And I think that he has, of course, some of the boxing fans who may be more on the hardcore side, but I think he also has a number of the casual boxing fans that are on his side as well. Those that just kind of see the bravado, see that, okay, this guy is a knockout artist and all of that stuff. So he gets some of that casual fan. He gets them wanting to actually attend the event. And I think they've done a good job of putting him in certain locations as well, like in Atlanta, this is Houston. They were going to do this one there, of course, New York and all that stuff. So I think that all adds to it. So as long as he can get people to show up at the actual gate, I think they're going to look at that as an upside. And it's like a matter of, hey, we can throw him in with whoever.
Yep.
Yeah, and so Morning Wombat says as well, and we'll get into the card right here. I had it up. I apologize that I had it up while you were speaking, Josh. I thought we were going to go into it, so that's why I put it up. But I'll put it up again. I think Russell will be too dynamic and athletic for Rayo. Russell showed a lack of composure, experience in his recent loss, and people don't give Puello credit for being crafty and picking his shots. So now that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the card. This is the card here on the right-hand side, as you can see. So just a quick glance. Obviously, you got the main event. You got the Rayo versus Russell that we just talked about. Jose Valenzuela. You got Alberto Puello versus Sandor Martin. Yoenis Tellez versus Williams. Jarrett Hurd versus Johan Gonzalez. Tariq Green versus, I don't know what his name is, N. Smith. And then some other fights here. So are there any other fights that y'all like on this card or you think people should look out for?
Go ahead, Josh.
Oh yeah, certainly. So the N. Smith, Nasheed Smith, he's a prospect on his way up. He's out of the Headbangers gym here in DC. Very good. He fought on Team Combat League, so he's going to be one to watch. And I'm pretty positive he's going to get the job done there. I do know of David Whitmore as well. He's out of this area. He started out 8-0. He's a very solid young prospect as well. I remember a lot of these youngsters as an amateur, and they've recently turned pro here in recent years. So he's one to look out for, along with Derek Scooter Davis, another one out of Headbangers who is top flight. His body work, some of the best you can expect for a guy so young and at his age. So I'm looking forward to those, but also those other ones up top. I agree with Morning Wombat. I think that Gary Antoine Russell, he understands the dynamic, and I think he's really going to go at Valenzuela, but it should be a pretty good contest. Puello, Sandor Martin, not bad. Sandor Martin, he's a decent, solid fighter there. I do think that Puello might have a little bit more to offer than Sandor, but that is just a fight that's not too bad for two guys who will be technical. Tellez versus Julian Williams, that's a very interesting one, though I think at this particular stage, Yoenis Tellez is going to be a handful for J-Rock to deal with, and he might end up getting a stoppage there, to be honest with you. And then we'll see with Hurd and Gonzalez. I'm not really sure.
Okay. Yeah. Clubber D?
Yeah, I see it. They like Josh mentioned, they got a lot of people from Headbangers. I think that's where Gervonta Davis has been training with. Yeah, he's not with Calvin and Kenny. He's been up with Headbangers up in DC. And shout out to the Headbangers. You know what I'm saying? That's where Paul Williams trained as well. One of my favorite fighters for his accident. But I'm the one fight I didn't even know he was on this card, but Jarrett Hurd. I'm a big fan of him. Even before he slapped one of the Charlos, I've always liked him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was at the fight when he lost to J-Rock at where we used to call it the Patriot Center where George Mason plays basketball. I'm eager to see where he is because I remember seeing him a couple years ago. I think it was Logan Paul Mayweather fight, and he was just getting worked by this guy. And I was like, ooh, might be time to hang it up. But then he's come back, and I guess this maybe his second or third fight since then. So I hopefully it's a good bounce back story. Yeah, I agree with J-Rock. I don't think he can hang with Tellez right now at this point in his career. He's kind of like in the twilight, and I honestly did not know he was still fighting. Sandor Martin, he got robbed, I think, against Teofimo Lopez. You know, I thought he won that fight. But I don't know if he's gonna get Puello, but it's I think Puello will get the nod on this one, probably like a decision. And for Gary Anton Russell, it was kind of like karma because he came out and talked about Devin Haney losing to Ryan Garcia, talking about, you know, peds don't mean nothing and fights and things of that nature. Then he lost to Puello, who got caught with peds before. So go figure. And you know, yeah. And that was for the WBO 140, and then they made Devin Haney the champion recession. Now Puello's the champion of WBC. 140. So see how that happens. And but I with Wombat on this one. I like El Rayo. I think he's a good fighter, good slick fighter. But I think I think that knockout streak's gonna start again with Gary Anton Russell against El Rayo. I think he's kind of like Roger Ortiz, where he was like 20 or 19-0 with 19 knockouts, and then his last fight he lost. You know, that was his first fight that he did knock the person out and have to get lost. So he's gonna get back on that knockout streak. And as far as the tank fight, you know, I got this being, you know, 6 rounds. I got taken 6. I'll put it like that. And I bet Lamont
Josh
met his brother. They're great people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going against the bigger guy right now.
Oh, that's right. You got the photo with them on Instagram, didn't you?
Yeah, I met them there. Got to see his brother's second fight. Knocked dude out. It was a great card they put. I hope they get invited to another card. But yeah, it was amazing. But yeah.
Okay. And Josh, did you give your prediction for the Gervonta Davis Lamont Roach fight specifically?
I didn't, and I did all those same things. Clever D mentioned there regarding the Roach family. They always great, respectful to deal with, and that's one thing that certainly stands out just from an overall perspective. I probably lean a similar direction what I've said. I think that early on, actually, Lamont, he will be in there boxing, and he might gather some rounds there early on. But I do think that the fact that he's moving up, that size is going to factor in. And we know that Tank, he's a guy who does have pop. And while Lamont, he has some knockouts, he's not really a big puncher like that. He gets it done more so boxing. He can hurt guys and drop guys. We've seen that. We saw him hurt Jamel Herring and all of that. But that was at 130 pounds, and he's moving up. And while it's only 5 pounds, I do think it's going to make a difference there in the end. So I think he'll hang in there early, probably do his thing there for a few rounds. But at the end of the day, somewhere midway between there, maybe around 6 or 7, I do think that a stoppage likely happens.
Okay, so KO 6, Clever D, and TKO or KO around the same range, says Josh.
Yeah, in favor of Tank, yeah.
In favor of Tank, right? Both are in favor of Tank. I think everybody is picking Tank in this fight. I am as well. Shout out Rock Chalk True Crime. Hello, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And yes, we couldn't have timed this more perfectly, gentlemen, because we have 2 more special guests joining us at just the perfect time. First of all, you remember him from last week, and you've seen him on plenty of streams before. His name is actually, you know what? No, I like when Clever D does it. Clever D, go ahead. Introduce.
Man, look here. This is heavy on the Papi, light on the Yayo. No other than Papi Choon Yayo in the house.
Hey,
Papi Choon Yayo. Heavy on the Papi, light on the Yayo. We get straight to it. I came in the what? You already know what I'm doing, fellas. KO 7 by Tank Davis. But I promise you, though, we got to give the boy Lamont Roach his flowers right now because he is highly skilled. He moves nicely. They know each other. They're familiar. Yeah. And I promise you, Tank is not taking Lamont not seriously. He's definitely taking that one seriously. He got a tough challenge. I hope Lamont, put him in some positions where Tank got to show us something new. But I'm still taking Tank by the sleepy.
Yeah, so another Tank KO in 7. And by the way, I've got to shout out that slick ass World Baseball Classic Dominican Republic jersey. That's fire.
Independence Day.
Yes, the Tatis.
Okay,
Independence Day.
Tatis is a superstar. So
yes,
and he was a superstar even before he took the PEDs, y'all. So don't be hating on him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's up there, Papi? What's up?
Hey, listen, bro. But you baseball, I don't know.
Hey, I don't know.
But you know who else is a global superstar, and he's about to be introduced. He don't need no PEDs, but he runs a huge boxing network that y'all better make sure you are tapping into. His name is Skywalker, and he represents his company, Skywalker Boxing Media.
Legend.
What's up, brother? How are we doing, my friend?
Hey, brothers.
There he is.
Guys, man.
What's going on, man?
Salute, man. I got Tank Davis with the KO, but I think Lamont Roach is a lot better than Frank Martin, and he's going to bring it. So I'm going to say later rounds. I'm going to say like round 10, 9 or 10.
Okay, so wow. Okay, you think Lamont is going to put up a little bit better of a fight, keep in there a little longer?
Yeah, a little bit longer than Frank Martin, I believe.
Okay. I think we all agree, though. Like I said, I think we're all picking Tank in this fight. I agree. I think it'll be a stoppage probably. I do like Lamont. I like his style. I've been looking a lot more into him ever since Clever D mentioned meeting them at that at the event that they were at, and so I do like his style. But I mean, Tank Davis is a face of the sport, one of the faces of the sport, like Clubber D said, for a reason, because he is that good. So while I do see him staying in maybe a little longer, I still see Tank getting him out of there 8, 9, maybe maybe even shorter than that. So
subscribe on YouTube at Ball and Buds for sports and entertainment.